Hi there, it's Ina here, and it's time for another one of my big art journal pages. And it's also time for another CAC hashtag event. The one for November, it's called hashtag Love Winter Art. So I am starting with the gessoed art page, and I'm adding just some simple acrylic paints and blend them together with my baby wipe. I want the background to look wintry, so it's light blue and white. Now a little bit of sprinkles. Now I do dry between layers, but I didn't leave all that in the video not to make it too long. But yeah, there's a lot of drying, so in between. So a little bit of blue and white sprinkles. I'm using exactly the same colors I used before. And now I just want to paint a little tree. I want it to be windswept, and it's not a natural or a reality tree by any means. I just want it to look a little whimsical and blown by the wind. Because I'm thinking in November, snow, winter, cold. Now, I live in Colorado, and usually we have a lot of snow and blizzards and everything, especially this time of year. But this year, it's actually warm. It could be a late summer day, and all the people who come to Colorado to go skiing, they are disappointed this year. Now, I'm sure the snow will come sooner or later, the winter will be here. But for right now, it's super nice and sunny, no snow, no rain. It's great for the time being. So here's my tree, and as I said, it's very simple. I'm just um, drawing as it comes. I didn't make any big plans. Actually, this whole page kind of evolved. I knew I was going to have a tree, but after that, I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to do. Next, just adding a little more details and then introduce a second color, a lighter brown, just to give it a bit more um, interest and depth and so on. So what's next? Oh yeah, I'm adding a whitewash, which is just watered down white acrylics because I want everything to go more into the background. And this is my white Sharpie. I'm adding a little bit of snow on the branches, and I blend it with my finger while it's still wet. I will try to chat with you during this video because I know many of you like it, and well, I like it too. It's just that sometimes I say the craziest things, so then I redo things, and so it takes me a little while to get it done. But maybe today is my lucky day and it will go smoothly. This is a charcoal pencil. I like to work with those that blend out in this really nice, soft line. Here I'm using two different shades of ink pads, two blues to bring a little interest into the background by using the stencil and just a piece of fabric, just to break it up a little bit and not make it too boring. I don't want it to really look like a painting, but I want to stick with the mixed media idea. I also just received two new stencils from Studio R12. Actually, I received a few more, but I will be using two in this particular project. This one is with snowflakes, different sizes and shapes, and they're really nice, and it's a wonderful stencil to use. So first I'm adding some white snowflakes, which do not turn up so well. Then I'm moving on to some blue ones. And because this is just stenciling, I'm speeding it up a little extra fast just to get through this part, because I think you all know how to stencil. And another whitewash, and then I decided on this printout. Now, if I had known that I was going to use this right from the beginning, I might have glued it down before I did the background. But oh well, it just kind of came to mind. So I will try to blend it in with the background a little bit. And as you will see, it works quite all right. So I'm using some gel medium to attack attack it, not to attack it, to attach it. And when it's all dry, really dry, I'm using some of the blue paint, but also some of my vivid metallic paint in a light teal or turquoise color. To give it a bit of a shine, I want to bring out this area with the sleigh a little bit extra. So first with my finger, then with a very lightly wet brush, and a little more just here on the right side of the picture. All right. So let's see. Okay, some more whitewash. As you see, I want a lot of it into the background. Now these covers, covering it with this liquid white paint, it's a very thin covering. So, as you can see, you can still see everything really well. So, and a little more ink pad, a little more shading all around in light blue. Now, of course, a wintry scene in more white than blue, but white is hard to see really well. So unless it's together with another color. So, and even after all the blue, I decided to introduce another color. So I'm going with purple. First, again, with an ink pad, just mostly on the bottom of the page. And then I'm using this pen. It's a Crayola Kids supply pen, and I think it's called Water Brush Marker or something like that. It works really well, nice color, blends easily. So I've used it many times in my projects before. They come in like 6 basic colors, and yeah, I quite like them. So I'm doing a little bit of edging here, as I always like to give my art journal paging a little frame, not paging, my art journal pages a little frame. All right, and also some purple snowflakes, because I do like the stencil a lot, and I want some of them to be really crisp and in the front. So I'm using some metallic purple paint, but also a little bit of white, and I'm using 2 different brushes. So first I lay down the purple, and when I think it's covered really well, I use a little bit of white on a smaller brush, and I give it a little bit of highlights just here and there. And I think it has a nice effect, and I like this. And again, here I'm speeding it up a little bit as it's just stenciling, and it goes on, and you will see later there are snowflakes all over the place, some uh, big ones and also some smaller ones. All right, let's see what comes next. Sometimes it's not so easy to remember when you record your whole video and then try to voice over later on what comes next, and you can't always anticipate it. Anyway, then I'm using a black Sharpie to go over the print, and it works quite well. And it's, of course, easier in some ways than paint, as you can be more precise. And this is another stencil, also from Studio R12. It has all kinds of sayings on it. And I picked the one that says, feel the breeze. I thought it was really fitting, and I also liked the lettering, the font it's used on this one. Now, even though I was very careful to dry brush, still a little bit seeped underneath the stencil. So I'm using my white marker just to even out the edges. Now, in this case, it works very well this way because the background has a lot of white in it. So, um, and here you can see I'm using actually some black paint to go over this one more time, as the Sharpie doesn't cover so well. So I wanted it to be a little more even. Okay, so all right, I'm replacing the charcoal line one more time, make it a little stronger. And let's see what else. Yeah, it needs something. Oh yeah, at this point, I left it alone for a few hours, and when I came back, miraculously my camera had moved. So we have a funny angle here, but I think you can see pretty much what I will be doing, and it's not for very long. So I cut out these little circles. These are handmade papers, and are also colored a piece of deli paper with my vivid metallics and some glitter paint. I'm cutting it out in a big circle. Now, the deli paper makes the whole thing transparent, and I really like it. You couldn't see it, but I just glued it right there on the tree. And yep, it can be the moon or the sun or whatever you would like it to be. And I'm also gluing down these little circles, which I cut out with my hole punch. And a little bit of glitter just on the right side. Now, I use glitter like this, the liquid glitter, quite a bit, but it is pretty delicate. It's not overpowering, so I like the effect of it. And here again, a little more shading and outlining with my charcoal for the big circle as well as the smaller ones. I just smudge it out with my fingers, just like when I used the charcoal before. And now I want to add just a little more of the vivid yellow gold. I think it was sunflower, the name of the color, just to kind of bring it all together and tie it together with the color of the moon or the sun. And a little bit of gel pen. It's a bright yellow all around the edges, just for a little interest. And that's pretty much it. My page is all done. I added this last extra circle on the bottom right because I felt it needed something. I love the way the sun and the moon is so transparent. And I love the sleigh. Going on a snow ride in a sleigh is actually a part of my bucket list. Maybe one of these days I get to do it. Bye bye for now.